Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon Xtreme Recon. Really exciting stuff. I decided that I'd make a quick video about this because I happen to be filming down here and, maybe you guys want to see it. Anyways, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler here in Provo for giving me some time with this Wrangler. Check out the inventory in the description down below. Let's get into the walk around. Let's start things off by going over the powertrain. Now this one being the Rubicon 392 has a naturally aspirated 6.4 liter Hemi V8 under the hood, goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. It is good for 470 horsepower and then 470 pound-feet of torque. First off, you guys can see the 392 script there on the hood, and then you guys can see the venting there in the center, and then we've got the Rubicon logo there off to the side, and then obviously with normal Jeep fashion, you got the hood latches right there, and then you guys can see the full LED lights, and then off to the side with the accent lights as well. Now this one has the black grille, which is actually the same grille that I have optioned out on my 392 that's on order. And then you guys can see here with the steel bumper stall, the rivets, and then the gold accenting with the hooks, fog lights down below. And yeah, I think with the black grille in stink gray, this actually looks pretty good if you ask me. And here's a closer look rather at the venting there in the center of the hood. And then here's a look at the front suspension, and you guys can see the solid front axle as well. It's a pretty cool looking setup there from a front end perspective. Now this being the Xtreme Recon has 35s from the factory mounted on 17-inch wheels that are beadlock capable, which is a pretty cool part of the package. And it's also lifted a little bit more. So the Rubicon 392 is 2 inches taller than a regular Rubicon. As you guys can kind of see, it's pretty tall there from a suspension standpoint. But the Xtreme Recon's another like 0.5 inches. And then they also have to put these like fender flare extensions on as well to fit the tires because they're so big. And then also the gold accenting. And then the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring as well. And you guys can see the door handles match the mirrors. And then this one has a body painted hard top. And then something I want to mention now that we're going over the rear setup is this is also re-geared. So it's got an axle ratio of 4.56 for the rear end. You can see the rock rail there as well. And that actually helps out with acceleration and also with crawling. If you're wondering, the regular 392 has an axle ratio of 3.73. And then you can see the Fox shocks there in the back. And then the exhaust tips out the back kind of, have that old school muscle car look. And then they actually had to reinforce the whole tailgate and everything basically in the tire carrier to be able to hold the 35 because it's that much heavier than the 33 that's standard with the regular Rubicon 392. And then it has the same beadlock capable wheel, bronze tow hook right there, parking sensors on the back. And then you guys can see here, I think it's pretty cool. They show little Jeeps there on the door, kind of like all the logos and everything. And I don't know, I think it's just kind of like a unique little Easter egg. And you can see the storage space here in the back, definitely solid. And one thing to mention is the Jeep little tailgate's a lot easier to close, or you'll open rather than the Bronco, and it's just as easy to close. So definitely a big plus with the Wranglers. Now going from that to the door panel in the rear, you guys can see you've got the padding here with the contrasted gold stitching, and then it's the seats are just black, but again they have the gold stitching that kind of contrasts all throughout them, which is definitely a cool look. Got the vents here in the center with all the window controls, and then the power outlets down below. Sorry about my camera freaking out. It's just a little bit of low light situation basically, so couldn't see very well. But anyways, door panel here at the front, identical to what we have in the rear, and from a material standpoint have the netting right there, and you guys can see the mirror controls, and then the door lock and unlock, and then again the mirrors. And then you guys can see here at the front seats it says Rubicon 392. It's one of the only like 392 badges in the interior. And then you can see the seats are manually adjustable. You got the pedals down below, which look really nice. And then you can see here with the light controls off to the side. And then the steering wheel is really nice. So it's got really nice perforated leather on the sides and smoother leather at the top and the bottom. And then again, gold stitching as well. It does have adaptive cruise control, paddle shifters there on the back. And then you guys can see the controls for the center stack. And then you can see the center stack right here, and 63 miles. It's brand new. Definitely cool looking gauge cluster. And then there's more of that gold stitching on the dash. Got the infotainment system that's fully sealed off. And then you've got a bunch of controls down below for the climate controls, the heated seats, heated steering wheel, all that fun stuff. The important thing is the exhaust mode button. You always got to have that set to loud. And then you got the off-road cruise control as well. All the window controls here in the center. And then this does have the front and rear lockers because, again, it is a Rubicon. It has a sway bar disconnect as well. So it's off-road ready. Got your auxiliary switches there with the shifter for the 8-speed automatic. And then we have our driveline select. So you have your 4-wheel auto, 4-wheel part-time, and then you've got your 4-wheel low as well. Got the brake right there, center console. And you guys can see storage space and a little USB inside of it, and then storage space there on the top. And then you got the glove box, and notice above it, you guys can see the trim right there. And then this one does have the insulation at the top, which is an option I always recommend with Wranglers because it helps out with noise, and then also with the interior, with keeping it warm, and then in the summer, right, keeping it cool. Otherwise, yeah, it's actually a substantial difference. Now, popping over to the passenger side, you guys can actually see the glove box size, and also the window sticker. So you guys can see here, this one's a 2021, so at the tail end you could get the Xtreme Recon package. You guys can see a lot of standard equipment with this package, which is great. So pretty much everything's standard. There are a few options like the trailer tow package, for example, and then again, the Xtreme Recon is also optional equipment. But you guys can see the total MSRP there, $84,605, and then the EPA fuel economy with the Xtreme Recon, 13 on the highway, 13 around town, 17 on the highway. Mix it up. Minus a lexic moment of the day. But yeah, and then here's kind of like a full view of the Jeep here. Looks really cool in the showroom, and the 35s definitely give it a much nicer stance. It definitely looks a lot more aggressive and a lot taller. This is how it should look from the factory, is my personal opinion.